We are seeing this constant push to conflate stripper culture with Black culture, strippers with Black women, as if they're synonymous. I reject that claim. I don't identify with that. That is not who I am. That's not who God created me to be. That's not who God created women to be. I reject that. But unfortunately, you're seeing this push time and time and time again. Like, this is normal. And you see it being justified. And what's dangerous about this is that you literally have women going and making, it's like they don't understand the spiritual realm at all. There's like zero understanding of the spiritual realm. This is why I said in the previous video, only God can save these hoes. And I don't like calling women hoes. I don't like doing that. But what I started to understand was that there used to be a time when being a hoe was bad. But now you got women going around calling themselves whores like it's something to be laughed at, like it's a badge of honor.
I'm really a whore. Like I'm with a W. Like I'm a whore.
So now me just saying only God can save these hoes. I'm literally just now agreeing with what they say about themselves, about who they have actually revealed themselves to be. Only God can slay these hoes, because when your spirit and when your psychology has been so broken down, when it's been so beaten down by the enemy, physically, spiritually, then it's like literally only God himself. You got to, not this Captain Save a Hoe, not this, you got to have these men going and taking on baby daddies, or taking on all these kids and taking on being the stepfather of the year, taking Big Brother. It's like, no, even if you did that, even if every single Black man listening to my voice right now decided to go and be the stepfathers of the year and take up random kids they didn't know from the community and try to mentor them, even if they did that, if you did not deal with the corrupt spirit that has entered the hearts of these women, then something would go awry. If it wasn't in this generation, it would be in generations to come. But when I say only God can save these hoes, I'm being for real. You're talking, these women need a spiritual rejuvenation. This is why I preach and will continue to preach the importance of having a strong spiritual foundation with God. He is the only one that can save these women and let them know what you're doing is disrespecting yourself. You're going on the graves of people and you're dancing. You have now invited a curse on your life. You are engaging with spirits who want to harm you. You are inviting disrespectful, harmful things in your life, and you're completely unaware. Only God can do that, because some of these women are the same women who they wouldn't even listen. Even if somebody went up to them and said, "Hey, that's wrong, right?" They will get mad. They get offended. They'd say, "This is my liberation. This is my mating call. I'm targeting for my ancestors." They wouldn't listen. So it's like, if they ain't listening to you, at a certain point, you got to give them over to God and say, "You gonna have to save them. You gonna have to save them." But that's what I mean. I'm like, at the end of the day, I will continue to preach death, burial, resurrection. That's what these women need. Dying to their old identity, dying to this identity of being a hoe, and being made new in their hearts, in their minds, in their spirits. I'm talking about a completely new person, but nobody can do that. Like I said, Black men can't do that. I can't even do that. That's God himself. The Spirit of God himself has to do it. But there has to be an understanding. There has to be recognition that that kind of behavior is damaging, not only to your image, to your spirit, and ultimately to generations to come. This is why Black women continue to be disrespected, because they disrespect themselves. They invite curses on themselves, and they don't even know it. And then they get mad when they receive the consequences of their actions. And it's like, no, honey, you don't even understand that you are continually inviting curses. You are continually engaging in sin, and then you get mad when you receive the results of that. The laws of reaping and sowing are always at play. Some people call it karma, whatever you call it, but there are just certain laws and principles that operate in this world. And this is one of the things I don't like about people always trying to deconstruct stuff. Certain things don't need to be deconstructed. Certain boundary lines have been established since the beginning of time that are never moving. It don't matter how smart you try to be. It don't matter what kind of theory you try to come up with. Certain boundary lines have always been established and will continue to be established because God put them there. And you trying to deconstruct them, you trying to rewrite them, you trying to try new boundaries, you're only going to be fighting against the hand of God. And this is, I think, what we see a lot. This rebellious spirit that has entered the hearts of women to where they think foolishness is fun. They think being shameful is shameless. Like it's completely backwards. And I'm supposed to just sit here and think that that you're doing this for me. You ain't doing that for me. Lizzo's over talking about she's twerking to represent all of us. I'm like, she ain't twerking for me. Lizzo does not represent me when she's twerking. She's twerking for herself and maybe whatever group of women identifies with that. But she ain't twerking for me. I don't walk with that. I do not walk with twerking everywhere you go. I do not walk with disrespecting yourself everywhere you go. That don't represent my femininity, my spirituality, my blackness, none of that. So no, rejection. I reject that form of black femininity. Thank you. Inappropriate for the context. That's right. There's a time and place. It's as simple. There's a time and place. To me, it's that simple. But what I'm saying is that, again, when you have a rebellious spirit operating, and when there's foolishness in the hearts of women, even common sense isn't common. Even like basic fundamental truths that you would think everybody would know are no longer there. Because the spirit of foolishness has literally taken over. And you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe one thing that I'm saying. All you have to do is look at the results. Literally all you have to do is look at the results. Like I said, unless you're actually your stripper and this is your worldview, you can't sit here and tell me that's the behavior of women in forum class. No. You said you need a whoop in our religion. No, both. Religion will whoop you into place. I don't know what religion you got, but I'm like, if you serving the true God, he will absolutely whoop you into place. Full stop. I'm not talking about this fairy hippie Jesus that people be seeing online where it's like some like white blonde haired like pseudo Serapis Creek. That's not the God I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one with the eyes with flames of fire, okay? The one who will literally humble kings. Like, people act like God is something to be messed with. It's not. You don't. That's what I'm saying. It's like people don't understand that there are spiritual realities at place that when you start to engage in that and dabble in that, you invite things into your life that are literally impossible to undo without the power of God. And that's why I'm saying only God can save these hoes. There ain't no community outreach that involves black men going and taking on stepsons. Sorry, Dr. Umar, no. Like, ain't no, okay, all these black men just need to go and start wifing up all these single mothers. No. Like, if the corrupt nature has not been addressed, then it's going to lead to bad results in the long run because you haven't dealt with the internal corruption